I went out and asked over 200 people just that simple question: what are you most grateful for in your life? Only 2 people actually said themselves. A lady had had a stroke in the middle of the night, woke up the next morning and, half her body wasn't working. Fast forward, it had been a few years since she had the stroke, and she said, every day since then I wake up and I'm just so grateful for me because there's some reason I'm still here.
You can't truly love someone until you truly love yourself.
Unfortunately, I find a lot of people that don't. They don't feel like they're worth it. They don't feel like they deserve it.
So what do you do to make sure that your cup is always full?
Pay attention to what's going on around me that I can control. What can I control and what can't I?
What inspired you to write the book?
I was doing a live one night, and a guy that had contacted me a few days before with a very passionate story of his came on the live that night, and he said, I had broken gratitude and you helped fix me. It hit me. That's the book. I don't know what that book's about yet. I know it'll be gratitude. Him saying that really got me to thinking about what is gratitude and what does it mean to me? What am I most grateful for?
This is Sparta!
Welcome back to Spartan Leadership. I'm your host, Josh Kosnick. And in the studio with me today, I got my friend, Sammy Farrens. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, Josh. How you doing today, man? Thanks for having me.
Bright and early in the morning?
It is.
That's all right. We'll get her done. So you came up to Madison, spent some time with us. Did you have fun on the farm?
I always love coming up here. The chickens, alpacas, goats, and I mean, it's an experience every time. Yeah. And I'm a country boy, so,
Yeah, we like getting the city boys out to chase the chickens. You raise chickens, so you don't have to worry about that. You show us what to do.
Well, yeah, and that's usually get rid of them.
We like what they produce right now.
Yes.
So all good on that respect. So for those that don't know, Sammy is an author of this book right here, for those not watching on video, Broken Gratitude, and it hit #1 on Amazon. Was that last week?
Last week.
Last week. Congrats, brother.
Thank you. It was very unexpected. I think it's something that authors strive for. But like me, being the first book and, just never expecting to even write a book, I definitely didn't expect to end up on a #1 list.
Yeah. Well, Sammy's been an entrepreneur for a long time, and now he's gone full boat into speaking and writing. And I just love Sammy's heart. So I wanted to have him on the show, talk about his book, and we're going to get into a whole bunch of topics today beyond gratitude, probably some leadership because we always talk about that, and anything else that comes our way. But let's start with the book because that's why we got you here. #1 Amazon bestseller. So what inspired you to write the book?
My TikTok followers.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
I did not expect that, Sam.
So I do a lot of live videos. I love just communicating with the people, but I always like to keep it real. And they kept telling me, you should write a book. You should write a book. And I'm like, guys, I don't write books. I've never wrote a book. Never even thought of writing a book. And they said it enough. And I was doing a live one night, and a guy that had contacted me a few days before with a very passionate story of his came on the live that night. And he said, I just wanted to come on and tell you, man, I had broken gratitude and you helped fix me. And it was like, man, it hit me. Like, that's the book. I don't know what that book's about yet. I know it'll be gratitude, but I don't know what that means. And so just him saying that really got me to thinking about, well, what is gratitude and what does it mean to me? And what am I most grateful for? So I went out and asked over 200 people just that simple question: what are you most grateful for in your life? And most people said their kids, family, husbands, wives, but only 2 people actually said themselves. And even those 2 people, one of them, a lady had had a stroke in the middle of the night and woke up the next morning and, half her body wasn't working. And fast forward, it had been a few years since she had the stroke. And she said, every day since then, I wake up and I'm just so grateful for me because there's some reason I'm still here. and the other gentleman had tried committing suicide 3 times. And he said, well, God's got some reason he won't let me, complete,
that task.
The task. And he said, so I've just found the power in myself that now it's and he's an awesome, amazing guy. And all he does is help others that are facing suicidal thoughts or severe depression. And so he's placed himself first.
I think that's really surprising. He's at over 200 and only 2 said they're grateful for themselves. Yeah. What other surprises came up in that?
Just how selfish people felt when even just asking the question, I would listen to their answer, and there's no wrong or right answer to it. But when I would come back at them and just say, well, why not yourself? I got so much pushback from that. Well, I can't do that. I can't put myself above my kids. I can't put myself above my family. And I was like, but you can. Because if you have filled yourself up with gratitude so much, that's when it actually flows over into your kids even more than what you feel like you're giving them right now. Mm-hmm. And same with like love and joy and happiness. If you're not completely full with it yourself, like to the point where, like coming out here on the farm, like, man, I come out here and I can just, it's that extra bump of joy and happiness. I find just, it's peaceful. It's calm. And if I don't have that, well, then I can't give it to somebody else.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's right. That's right.
So whether that's gratitude, love, I agree. But I've often said, whether it's my sister, whether it's other people that have asked me for advice regarding marriage, and it's just like, you can't truly love someone until you truly love yourself.
Yep. And that's it. And unfortunately, I find a lot of people that don't. They don't feel like they're worth it. They don't feel like they deserve it. And most times what I found is they've had something in their past. And that past trauma, maybe the way they were raised, it's amazing how many people are raised to just, no, you're not worth that. No, you don't deserve that. And they're taught it as a kid. And so they just believe it throughout their whole life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually talked about in the 4 agreements as well. Being impeccable with your word is actually making sure that you're speaking words of hope and not poison, especially to children.
Yeah.
Because those are downloads that stick with them and form with them the rest of their lives.
Yeah. There's a chapter in the book here that talks about how you talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's my biggest word to get rid of in your life is can't.
Why?
Because there's nothing you can't do. I'm 5'6", 200 pounds, 48 years old, a little chubby, and I can slam a basketball. I'm going to stand on your shoulders while I do it, but I can do it.
I was going to say, wait, Sammy, I haven't seen this yet.
We're going to get Big Greg. He's going to hold me up.
That's right. Well, he's 6'8". He has a height advantage. So, yeah. So what else on the gratitude side of things did what are you most grateful for?
Myself. I mean, and now I can say that, and I say it very proudly. As I've delved into this journey of gratitude and what it really means, it's more than just a journal or certain instances during the day when you say, man, I'm so grateful for that. It's an overwhelming feeling. It's an energy for me. And I know that when other people are in my space and my energy, even if I'm not talking to them, I'm giving them. So it's that. And for me, it's something that I'm still looking to build more on.
So what do you do to make sure that your cup is always full?
Pay attention to what's going on around me that I can control.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a huge part. Just what can I control and what can't I? Or, what don't I?
Yeah.
So that's, to me, it's going back to just what do we truly control? Bad stuff's going to happen, negative things. It's all still going to happen, but how do I react to it? A perfect story is my neighbor about a month ago, and we talk a lot. He come over at 6 a.m. in the morning, and he's like, dude, my car won't start. Can you give me a jump? So yeah, sure. Go out. And I said, man, you're going to be late for work. You want me to just take you to work and then, we'll get your car up and running later. And he was like, no, I'm okay. Hey, man, look at that beautiful sunrise. Oh, my God. It's so beautiful. And he was going on, and the air as it was touching his skin, he was talking about that. And I'm looking at this guy going, your car won't start. You're going to be late for work. He's told me many times his boss is an asshole. So I know he's getting hollered at. And all he cares about is the sunrise. That's gratitude. And that evening when I did see him, I asked him, how's car running okay? Yep. Man, can you believe that sunrise this morning?
Hadn't let it go. And how
many of us would have woke up, car wouldn't start, whole day's bad. And the whole day would have been bad because that's what they focused on. Mm-hmm. This guy, he focused on the beauty of the day. That's gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you focus on, and oftentimes for like everyone is, did you have a bad day or did you have a bad moment in the day?
Absolutely.
Because oftentimes like in this instance, he could have let that car situation and being late and getting hollered at situation from his boss just fester all day long. But instead, he let something positive fester all day long.
Yeah.
Because he was living in the moment and practicing gratitude.
Yep. And it's, and we see it, and the guy, the morning road rage or something, and they cut you off, but nobody got hurt. Nothing actually happened. They cut you off, and they honked at you and flipped you off and whatever. And so many people will let that be their whole day. They'll talk about it when they get to work. They'll talk about it at break, at lunchtime, and they get home that night 8-9 hours later, and they're telling their spouse about it. Oh my God, this morning this guy cut me off. What an asshole, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, really? Like, why did you carry that all day? It was a moment. Just like you said, it was a moment. And nothing really happened.
No. Everyone thinks they're king of the road.
Oh, well, yeah.
So that's it. But you're right. It's such a simple example that I think that we all have had in our lives. You have to like, yep, I can identify with that. So yesterday we both had the opportunity to speak. You said something really powerful during your talk. It was one of my takeaways that I wanted to make sure we touched on for the listeners because it is really profound. And you said the hardest thing you'll ever have to do is love someone from a distance. Mm-hmm. Go into that a little bit more.
Well, it's, as we all know, the people that are going to hurt us the most are the people we love the most, and that's the unfortunate truth. Sometimes those people will be our moms, our dads, our kids. And it's when that person not just hurts you one time, but we see like they're just a toxic person. They're not, our values don't match up. Our, alignment with life, it doesn't match up. And it doesn't matter that it's our mom, our dad, our kids, whoever that might be. It's still a toxic relationship. And people feel like because it's my mom, my dad, my kids, whatever, that they have to. I have to just put up with it. Mm-hmm. I have to.
Because it's blood.
It's blood, And the reality is this, you don't. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve them. You have to learn to love that person from a distance so that you can have peace and calm in your own life. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters most, you. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean that you don't love them. That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean you cut them off. I'm not saying that. When I talk about loving people from a distance, I get a lot of, I just got to cut. I can't cut my mom off. I never said cut her off. I said, learn your boundaries with her. Set the boundaries for you, not for her. And stick with that boundary. You've put a line in the sand. Don't let nobody go over it, no matter who they are. And that's hard because it's my mom or my dad, my sister. And what I've found is most times, and I'm not saying every time, when you really set that boundary and you stick to it because it's what's best for you, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to respect it and abide by it, and your relationship will actually get stronger. Or they won't. They're stuck in their ways. They're stuck in what they believe, whatever that looks like. And you learn how to see them once or twice a year. You talk to them on the phone a few times. Does the relationship change? Yeah, it changes a lot. But has it changed for the better? And 99% of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's super hard. I have that relationship with my own dad.
Yeah, go into that because that's a powerful example for if you're willing.
Yeah.
Because it's a powerful example for folks. Because I think, it's mom, dad, it's brothers, sisters, oftentimes that we struggle with boundaries the most. As adults, so as kids, we're forced to be around our family for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Their situations are all different. And then we also are taught, hey, that this is family, this is blood, we take care of each other, we love each other. Like we're put these thoughts into our head. And another speaker we had yesterday, I love this line of his, said, obligation and alignment don't belong in the same sentence.
I so agree.
And so we're forced, like you said, kind of to be with our family. And then it turns into an obligation to be at Thanksgiving or to be at Christmas or to do these things. So your example with your dad is really powerful because I think with people, they struggle with family the most. So just give people the whatever real rundown you want to give them with the relationship with your dad and the boundary you've had to set.
Yeah. So my dad wasn't a bad dad. He didn't beat me. He wasn't an alcoholic. It was nothing like that. My dad, growing up, loved TV. I mean, he would get lost in TV world. And because of that, I've never thrown a ball with my dad. I've never went hunting or fishing or camping or anything that a dad would do. I played football. He'd never seen me play. I ran track. He never came to a meet. And I held on to a lot of anger and sadness even after I was out of the house. And there would be times where I would think of him or smell, or something that would remind me of him. And I would just get like overwhelmingly pissed. Because why was I never enough? Why didn't he come watch me play? Why didn't he love me? Was what it really come down to. And I got to a point where I said, you know what, this doesn't serve me. And so I ended up having a phone call conversation with him, which I called, he never called. And I just told him, I said, look, I'll think of you every day. I love you. And I wanted to thank you because what I had to do for myself was I thanked him for being that dad. Because I don't know if he's not that dad, that I didn't turn out being the dad I was. I went to all my kids' games. I coached a bunch of them. I was there when every one of them caught their first fish. Now I got grandkids and I'm doing the same thing with them. And I don't know that I become that dad that cares so much if he wasn't the dad that didn't care at all. So I had to switch the way I looked at the relationship, find gratitude in it, which again, I know for a lot of people that's hard to do, but it's worth it. And then I set that boundary of, I won't call you anymore. If you don't contact me, then I know where you stand. I set that was the boundary. That's the line. That was 9 years ago. And my dad, I know, because I have kept up with him. He lives 10 minutes from me.
That's crazy.
And I haven't heard from him, seen him, nothing.
So that's why I wanted everybody to get that example, because it's such a powerful one that Sammy had to take control of his emotional being and still express gratitude for the opportunity to be the man that you are today, right? So it's the point is there, you could have chosen to be bitter the rest of your life, but you chose that didn't serve you. You had a realization that didn't serve you.
Yeah. I wanted my peace and my calm.
Yeah.
More than I wanted to hold on to that anger and sadness and everything that I held with him.
Really important distinction there. He wanted it more than the bitterness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wanted peace and calm more than bitterness. So identify what you want more in those situations. Does retribution, does getting them to say I love you, does it like, is that going to matter more than your peace and calm? Because what if they never say it?
Yeah. Or what if they say it and then you still question whether they meant it?
Right.
You know, because we can, they said it. Yay. Did they really mean it? Well, that sounded fake.
Yeah.
So you really didn't get what you were looking for in the first place.
What age was so we grew up with our dads, especially as men, those that had fathers in the household. I think we grew up with them being the hero. What age for you did that shatter?
Oh, man, I really don't know. I would say probably pretty young, 5 or 6. Because our house always had so many people in it, there was a lot of other male role models that I could use. My uncles were a couple of them. And one of them was real big into martial arts. And so I found myself, and he lived across the street. So I found myself over there a lot. And
so it was really young for you.
Yeah, I really do think it was, because, you notice when somebody doesn't pay attention to you. And they're there all the time. Like he was always there. But you couldn't, like when I say he would get lost in TV world, I could stand next to him hitting his arm going, Dad, Dad, Dad. And he would just glaze off, and the words might come out, hey, just leave me alone. Because he was just lost in TV world. It was a really...
Well, that
really
was his
weird.
addiction, right? That was his escape. So it wasn't drugs, it wasn't alcohol like a lot of other people have had with their parents, but it was TV. And the fact that he was lost in that, because the only reason you're watching TV that intently, that often, is an escape. Yeah. It's an escape for his life. So the realization that you have is that, his life and his head must be so painful that it can't, and then you have the choice to live like that or move on. And that's why you created your peace.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I think for a lot of people that it doesn't become a shattering of a hero image of your parents until they're adults. When you start realizing, what Dad did there, or back at that age, that wasn't right, or that didn't feel good, or that's not how I want to treat my kids. So I think it happens a lot more for folks when they're adults, because they start realizing how their core values work, how their operating system would be. And so my dad, very similarly, not getting lost in TV land, but now one to tell me that he loved me when I was younger. So I can count on one hand how many times I remember him saying that. Now I always, when I do tell this story, I always say I give him credit now, because he's turned into a bit of a softie with grandkids and gotten much better in his old age. He's not that old, but in his older age.
That's because grandkids are way better than kids.
That's what I hear. A long time for me to realize that. But anyhow, he's gotten much better with it. But I will say, like as a child, sometimes our parents teach us what to do, and sometimes they teach us what not to do. Right? So for me, not getting those words of affirmation actually turned into a strength for me, because I don't need affirmation at all now. I get it from myself.
Yep.
However, what it did teach me is that I make sure I tell my kids I love them at least once a day, and that they know that I got their back.
That's awesome.
So that, and again, I have a great father and role model. He's one of my heroes, but that was one thing he taught me I didn't want to be like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we've had conversations about it too. He learned it from his father, right? So the lessons are passed on. Like he didn't get a lot of words of affirmation and love from his father. He had to do everything on his own. But again, you can be the generational curse stopper as well.
Yep.
Right. And that's what you've done in drawing boundaries and teaching others to draw boundaries. That's what I've done and telling my kids I love them every day, at least once a day, so you can make the choice. You don't have to go, well, because my dad was like that, I'm going to be like that.
Yeah. Well, and like your dad, that's what, as men especially, we're taught you're the tough guy, you're the man of the house, you're the
protector, the provider, rub dirt on it. You can't show emotions.
Yeah, don't say I love you. That's just, and I tell, especially men, cry in front of your kids. It's okay. Give them a hug. It's okay. Say, I love you. It's okay. And do it in public even. You know, if that emotion comes on, do it, because it's so much more powerful than holding on to it and not showing it.
And it's real.
And it's so real. And your kids and your people around you, the people that you think are going to judge you for showing per se weakness, what they end up really learning about you is how strong you really are.
Yeah.
And that
it's not weakness.
It's not weakness. No. It is one of the most powerful things you'll do.
Yes.
You know, so to all you men out there, give your kid a hug and cry.
Tell them you love them.
Tell them you love them. That's the way I was raised.
Tell them you're proud of them.
Yes.
But make sure first and foremost, they're proud of themselves. Teach them to be scientists of themselves. Teach them to be strong. Teach them a lot of things, but just make sure that they know that you got their back and you love them, and nothing they can do will ever change that.
Yeah. Yep. You know, boy, there you go. Josh said it. It is, I can't even add on to that. I mean, that's it. You know, we teach our kids everything. Teach them success, teach them love, teach them how to be a better human being by your actions, not just your words. You know, that's another big thing. We tell our kids that, when you grow up, you can be whatever you want and you can go do this. And we say it, but we're not showing it.
Yeah. And
that's how the reality is. People learn by actions. They don't learn as much by words.
Yeah.
So show your kids these things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Most things are caught, not taught.
Boom.
So the actions are far more powerful than the words in that instance, right? So showing your love, showing how to do things the right way with integrity, they will observe that. And actually, I saw it in my girls the other night. They're learning some more tricks and gymnastics and for dance and all this different stuff. And I saw my 7-year-old tell my 9-year-old, "You can do it, Harper. I believe in you."
Yeah.
And I was like, I just caught it from the kitchen there in the living room. And I'm like, just getting caught. That's getting caught.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. Did you teach them ballet? Did they catch?
Yeah. No. That definitely didn't come from me. Yeah. No, they're dancing.
I want to see you do a pirouette. Yeah, no. It's called.
No. I can goof around. They always get embarrassed. I was like, you think you're embarrassed now of me? Yeah, you haven't seen nothing yet. Wait till you're a teenager and you bring some boy around. I'll embarrass the shit out of you.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Your kids are still younger. I had so much fun with that. Yes. It's fun when the girls bring the boys around and you get to be the gruff dad.
Yeah.
And, the judgment guy. And
I just plan to be goofy and be myself. So it's not purposely embarrass or harm or anything of that nature. It's just having fun.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. Although I do love that Bad Boys 2 scene.
Where they gang up on the guy at the door. Yes.
On her first date. That scene will forever be hilarious to me.
Oh, yeah.
Especially having 3 girls now as well.
But, 3 girls. You better have about 5 bathrooms, because if not, you're screwed.
We're just going to raise them right to pick the right boys. That's what we're going to do. But, all right, so what's the simplest senses and gratitude practices people can start with? Because I know that you can't feel stressed and blessed at the same time. That is scientifically proven. Yep. It's been researched in our brains now for the last 20, 30 years. So for those that haven't heard that yet, it is physiologically impossible to feel stressed and blessed at the same time. So what are some of the simplest things people can do for gratitude on a daily basis, just to get in those make it more habitual to live in gratitude?
I always start people like this that are not sure what gratitude really is. So I start people like this. I say, I want you to go home tonight before you go to bed, get a pad and a paper and a pen. And I want you to write down everything that you're grateful for. I mean, everything. But understand, as you write that list, that only what is on that list is what you're allowed to have the next day.
I've heard that question asked, if you, especially in a spiritual sense.
Oh.
If God only gave you tomorrow what you express gratitude for today, what would you have left?
Yeah. Dude, I think
so. Keep going on that. I love that idea, because that's a really powerful thing. And like, then you're actually going to think, oh shit, did I get it all? Because I don't want to wake up without that tomorrow.
That's right. And what you find is, and this is where filling yourself up first and watching it flow over into other people, you'll learn that on this list even, because you'll start out with everything about you. You know, oh, I'm so grateful my eyes work, my ears and my legs and my hands, my muscles. So grateful that my organs are working. Like, go as deep, you know, deeper than you ever thought you would. And then what you'll find yourself doing is saying, I'm so grateful that Josh's eyes work, Josh's ears work, you know, and you'll flow that over into even the people around you, because, well, I want to make sure they're taken care of too.
See, I actually do a way better job for the people I love than I do for me. In that instance, I know for a fact when I pray. Now I'm pretty good at, you know, talking about my blessings and feeling blessed, especially going to that mindset when I'm feeling stressed. Just now it's a trigger of mine to redirect, reframe life and whatnot. Did I have a bad day or a bad moment? Yeah. Right. To ask those questions. But in prayer, I definitely ask for things for others way more than myself. And I know actually that's something I got to get better at as well.
Feel selfish.
Yeah.
If you ask for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Even me knowing this stuff.
It still feels
uncomfortable.
Yeah. And that's the part where I say, embrace that. Embrace that. But be selfish. God, as you pray, God wants to give you. You got to ask. You know, so be selfish. It's an amazing feeling to know that I'm being selfish right now per se, but the reality is you're really not. You're asking for a better life for you, or whatever that looks like, so that again, it flows over to everybody around you. So be selfish, be uncomfortable. As entrepreneurs and leadership and everything, what do we teach people? Find comfort in the uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. That's how you grow.
Yep.
So why don't we feel selfish when we're doing that?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same over here. Be selfish. If I feel that selfish feeling, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm headed in the right direction. This is what I was supposed to be doing.
Huh. That's a good trigger point.
You know,
I'm going to start using that. I mean, I think people could take it too far I think this is where people get trapped, is if you haven't settled your ego yet,
yes,
then being selfish can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
A really bad thing.
Oh, yeah.
If you're one with your ego and know when your ego is talking to you and when it's versus when God's talking to you, then being selfish is not a bad thing. It's when ego and pride get involved that really muddies the waters.
Narcissists have a hard time with this.
Well, I would find it impossible for narcissists because they can't accept blame.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know that a narcissist could I don't even know that their mind goes down the grateful track.
Yeah, well, they're grateful for themselves, but they don't ever have that selfish feeling.
Correct. Yeah. That's a good distinction, because narcissists don't think they're selfish.
No.
Because the world revolves around them.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's actually a really good distinction. But yeah, so for those of us that don't live in a narcissistic mind, perpetually, I should say, because all of us have narcissistic traits at times.
Oh, yeah.
But when you can identify when it's your ego talking versus when God's talking, that's a good distinction.
Oh, yeah. And as far as like when you're in the stressed out moment, the depressed moment, the negative moment, what I have people do is I train to move away from even that area. If possible, move away from that area, because I'm an energy guy. So I feel like if you're sitting at work and the boss comes by and pisses you off or whatever that, and now you feel like, okay, my whole day's ruined. That's it. Move away from that area, because right now that energy is in that area. Mm-hmm. Move away from that area. if you can go outside, I always find nature to be just like a steroid, to help you get out of that emotion.
Not enough people realize that.
Oh, nature has so much. The sunlight, the natural breeze, breathing is huge.
Actually, I'm going to cut you off real quick because this is perfect. So Sammy was about 100 yards ahead of me this morning as I walked up to the podcast studio, and he's staring at the tree going, man, I love that tree. It grows into each other. I was like, isn't that tree cool?
Yeah.
And I was like, do you see not just where the branch grew into the trunk, above it where it started braiding?
That is, yeah.
You're out there appreciating the tree, right? In the moment. I'm looking at this split tree that should be dead. Honestly, I had a tree cutting guy who that's what he does for a living. He came out, he goes, that tree should have been dead a long time ago. Look how that thing survived. And it's this massive oak.
Yeah.
That's split into two and then grown into each other in like 2 or 3 different places.
And it really is cool.
But that's Sammy out there living exactly right now what he's talking about. So go back into that. Okay, leave that toxic space.
Yep. Go out, if possible, go outside and find one thing, just one thing, and pour into it gratitude. Like the grass. You're standing out and if you're focused on the grass, and what does the grass do? Oh man, I love the smell of grass after it's mowed. And, not saying you have to do this in this moment, but we all know the feeling of, man, when I go out in the morning and I'm barefoot and to feel the moisture off the grass on my feet, and you just put yourself into that one object, whatever that is, literally whatever it is, you can't be stressed.
Yeah.
You can't be depressed because, like you said earlier, the mind only works in positives or negatives, not at the same time. So if I'm so focused on something beautiful, and I'm really delved into that, then I can't be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And
that bad moment seems a lot more insignificant.
Yeah.
And a lot less significant, I should say.
Yeah. And it helps you focus on that bad moment. What did I control? What didn't I control?
Where did I go wrong? Or was this person just being an a-hole that day?
Was my boss just being an a-hole?
Yeah. Because you can't control them. And they may have had in their mind that they have this bad day and they're going to take it out on you. You can't control it. So you just make sure you control you.
Yep. And me, what I have people do too is, as you're in that moment of finding gratitude in this whatever object, is to breathe. And I tell people to do a 4-4-5. So it's 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, 5 times. But each time, feel the air even deeper as it comes into your body, to the point where myself, when I do it, by the 5th breath, I'm almost in a meditation stage that I can feel air, like as it fills up my brain, and feel it flow through my blood. Like if you can take yourself that deep, again, I can't be depressed.
You want to get real present with this breathing? I want to teach the audience this. Take a breath in. Feel the temperature of that breath that just came in. Now blow it out, same through your nose. And it's a slightly different temperature going in than it is going out.
Yeah.
Do that 10 times, right?
There you go.
You're focused on your breath, and actually such the present moment that you're focusing on the temperature entering your nostrils and the temperature exiting your nostrils.
I like that.
Right? It's just this sensory thing. It's a positive intelligence hack that I learned from Dr. Shirzad Shamin. And it's so interesting. Like that's where yesterday we were like rubbing your fingers together so gently that you can feel the grooves of your fingerprints. That's a present moment technique.
Yeah.
It's practicing being present. So, two things there. And
you can't be depressed.
Right. Right. So 2 tactical tools I don't want y'all to miss. Well, there's 3 now because I just brought up one. Yeah. So the one I just brought up, but Sammy brought up 2 I don't want you to miss. One was make the list of everything that you're grateful for.
And go deep.
Go deep. and continue. When you think you're done, go further.
Go further.
And then you can start going into others. I think here's how I see it is that then you go into others and you're like, wait, did I do that one for myself?
Yeah.
That's how I would bounce back and forth to make sure I'm capturing it all. Because again, if we ask the question, if I only get tomorrow, would I express gratitude for today? Did I miss something? Like, I'll give an example real quick. One was, for me, I keep focusing on is I have some nagging football injuries. I have arthritis in my right knee. My shoulders flare up. My lower back flares up depending on how much I'm lifting. And I try to lift heavy still. And I get pissed about it because at times I can't progress how much I'm lifting because of the pain. But then I got to express gratitude for the fact that I can still squat.
Yeah.
I can still put a lot of weight on my back. I can still put a lot of weight on the bench. I may not be able to continue to compound those exercises over an hour-long workout because my shoulders or my back or my knee at any given time may not allow me to go further. But how many people can't even do what I do? Right?
How grateful are you that you can feel the pain?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. The pain sucks, but man, I'm grateful I can feel the pain because if I don't, now I'm tearing something, breaking something. I'm majorly injuring myself, and that pain has actually set my boundary as much as it sucks. But, and that's a whole nother concept of the gratitude of it.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful I can feel the pain.
And that is so true. So the other tactical tool Sammy gave us was removing yourself from the negative energy spot, even if it's just for a moment. Mm-hmm. Go outside, get into nature if possible. And that doesn't have to be like, you could still be in the city and there's a patch of grass with a tree, right?
Well, and some people, so I said the office setting as an example, maybe you can't leave the office. So it's okay right there in your chair, sitting at your desk. Here, I got this here, coaster. And I can literally from my chair, I can still, maybe I can't leave my office, so I can't leave the energy, but I can still do the focus and I can still do the breathing. Mm-hmm. It's something that you can do anywhere.
To just reset.
It's total. It's a reset, a reframe of your brain. It's even if it's just for a couple of minutes, it's taking yourself out of that stressed moment, that depressed moment, whatever that is. And it's looking at this thing going, man, with this coaster, I wonder who invented this coaster. I'm so grateful they did. It's helped protect my table that, I got at home, and whoever thought about printing stuff on it, like, that's pretty cool. How did they do that? What machine? I'm so grateful for that machine. And it might sound,
it's so simple yet so cool. Like, but he just focused it because, again, it's something that we would take for granted.
Yeah, and you don't think about. And I tell people, I say, if you're able to, like, I would even take this simple coaster, and we live in a world of technology. Get on your phone and go, when was the first coaster invented? Who invented it? Why did they invent it? How was it done? And look at it, and next thing you know, what have you done? Not only did you take yourself out of a depressed state, you educated yourself. Mm-hmm. And that goofy coaster thing that now all this weird knowledge about a coaster might come up on a podcast and you're talking about it. That, hey, the coaster was invented in 1792 and Bob Dylan, blah, 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 and next thing you know everything about a coaster, which does you no good in life, but it took you out of that moment and it educated you. It might be a goofy education.
Bob Dylan invented the coaster?
Well, me and Bob.
What a talented person.
Him and Waylon Jennings.
The young people have no idea who these two people are. However, look them up. Fantastic musicians.
There you go.
And Waylon's one of the best country artists of all time.
Boom.
So I've been thinking about it. So you've been an entrepreneur for how many years? What, 30?
No, 13.
13?
Yeah. I've been in the trades for 26.
Okay. So that's where it was. So you've been in the trades. You started and ran your own company, and this is a subcontractor, correct? Mm-hmm. Painting, drywall.
Yep.
Did I miss anything?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Yeah. So I had your own company, had your own employees. What experience for you did you use in gratitude, either with your business as you continue to go through ups and downs as the trades and construction and all that different stuff has its ups and downs, profitable years, not profitable years. How did you exercise gratitude the best, and how did you exercise gratitude the worst in that time frame?
We'll start with the best. I was about 7 years into business, and I was doing everything wrong. When I say everything, I do mean everything. And then guy introduced me to networking. So I started networking, found out that I loved other entrepreneurs, just other people in the same kind of mindset. So I was very grateful for that. But then through that, I would hear people talk about their customers. Mm-hmm. And for me, my clients were just a way I made money. You know, I appreciated them in the moment. And as soon as that check was handed over, that final payment, whatever that was, the appreciation went away. It was like, okay, well, thank you. And what I really found, what I delved into was it's so much more than that transaction when it's done. This person just helped change my life. Even if it was just a moment in time, even if it was just, I worked at their house for 3 days. They helped me feed my family. They helped me pay my bills. I should forever hold that person in my heart. I should forever be grateful for them, to the point where, and now I do this once I learned all that, is 2 or 3 months later, I'm texting them or I'm calling them, not to see if they need more work done, but to actually just follow up and go, hey, how's your husband doing? Hey, how's dog Max doing? Is he sick still? I hope not, because you learn about, in my case, I'm in people's homes. So I learn about their family. I learn about their animals and their kids and, all that. So for me, it was going back and genuinely saying, hey, how's the kids? How did that dance thing go? Did the daughter win, and really caring about it. And what I found was, instead of just getting satisfied customers at the end of the job, hey, you like it? Yep. Oh, Sammy, we love it. Good. Done. Now I'm getting customers that are loyal to me. They're my friends. They're not friends that we're going out drinking beers, but they're my friends. These are the people that will only call me now. Sammy is my paint guy. Why Sammy the paint guy? Did he do such an extravagant job that nobody else could do? No, he cared. And he cared after the job. And he cared long, and he cared a year later. I still talk to people now. And again, it might be a simple text message or something that I did work 4 or 5 years ago. And it's just, hey, Josh, how you doing? How you doing, man? How's life going? And it's, oh, hey, Sammy, long time no. And next thing I know, we're talking. And then from the business aspect of it, you know what? I had a guy the other day asking me about a painter, and I don't know why, but I didn't think about you, but now I do. And now you got work from it, and it's just, you kept up with that relationship that wasn't just a transaction. It was so grateful. Like you were so grateful because this person helped change your life. As little as we think that is, it's a huge change.
Yeah.
So that I look at my customers and clients, totally different now. I come from a place of gratitude for them. You allowed me to speak at your event yesterday. I will forever, Josh, which you already was, but now you're even more, you will always be with me. As Josh, man, Josh is my guy. He allowed me to do something I love so much. So how can I ever not be grateful for that?
Right.
From the bad side, the negative side, whatever you want to call it, it's the ego. It's the ego behind it. And I don't feel like I'm there anymore. There are still moments, but I think in business, the biggest thing that holds a lot of people back is their ego. That it's all about me.
I should be this. I should be here. Should make X amount.
Yeah, and they look at their employees and clients and all that, as you serve me instead of without you, I'm not here. Instead of pouring that gratitude in them, you know, they look at them as, well, they should be grateful for me. I'm helping, you know, I provide them a paycheck. Yeah, okay, great. But you wonder why your turnaround rate's so big? Because people don't want to be treated as a dollar bill.
Yep.
They want to know that they are appreciated at work. I seen a survey, this has been a couple of years ago, it was before COVID, and it said that less than 10% of, they did a survey of like 2,000 people, and it was less than 10% of those people had heard their boss say thank you at least once a year. Like, why am I here? Great. I'm making a paycheck, but nobody appreciates me. Nobody will even say thank you for being here. Thank you for helping me live my dream life. Thank you for helping me go after everything I want. And in return, I want to help you do that. But that in return part, that gets forgotten.
Yeah.
For a lot of companies.
Yeah, that's really good. And humble of you to admit, you know, where you've gone wrong and what you've gotten right. But a lot of business owners need help understanding who they're doing it for at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, for me, it's a mindset thing to learn how to place others first in that scenario. You know, understand that it's your vision, it's your dream, it's your company, and that's great. And you do want to grow it. You know, for most people, you want to grow it into this massive vision, but understand that you're not doing it alone. Mm-hmm. It takes an army to, I forget how the saying goes, but you know, it takes a lot of people to make that vision come true.
No one's a self-made anything.
No.
And that's interesting that gets thrown out by the media and magazines and whatever else. They say self-made millionaire, self-made billionaire. No. You had a lot of support. You had mentors. You had people that worked for you. I haven't met one yet.
No,
that's entirely self-made. But it's interesting that term gets thrown out there. And I think sometimes people wear it as a badge of pride. But again, that word pride is in there. Ego is in there. It's not so you're not self-made. You didn't get there without your customers. You didn't get there without your employees. You didn't get there without your vendors. Literally people everywhere that helped you get to where you're at.
And you heard me talk about it yesterday. You didn't get there without the unknown people in your life. The people you'll never meet. The people you'll never know. You don't know their name, their face, nothing. Those people help change your business, your life, and they do it every day. Mm-hmm. And it's when you start finding gratitude in those people, you grow even faster. You grow stronger. You grow a team. You grow the people around you. And it's that appreciation of the truck driver that I'll never meet that delivered all my products to the store.
To the logistics person that coordinated the truck driver delivering your product. Like, there's so many people, so many things that coordinate and get you to where you need to be. So you're so right. All right. Last question. Didn't prep you for it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So it's going to have to be off the top of the dome early in the morning.
Do we need a shot first?
No.
Okay.
We should be good.
Okay.
What's an unpopular belief that you hold to be true that most others would disagree with you on?
That's a good question. Holy crap. Let's see here. That anything is possible. That anything is possible. That right there. Because again, I believe that you're going to help me slam a basketball, but I'll do it. You know, that word can't is it's such an excuse. It's used way too often.
It's pervasive and toxic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that anything is possible. I truly believe we can fly in the sky. Like, who would have ever thought, like,
in a cylinder canister with wings?
Yeah. I mean, two brothers decided, hey, why can't we fly like the birds? And they did it. You know, there is nothing that's impossible. You want it, make it possible, figure out a way and make it, and it'll happen. It may not happen exactly the way you want it or whatever.
In fact, probably will
not, but know that it is possible.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I want to leave everyone with the gift that you gave them, because I started thinking about it a little bit more here. The gratitude list. I think that should be done before your bucket list.
Oh, yeah.
And so many people spend time doing a bucket list or a dream list or whatever it may be, but have you done your gratitude list yet? So let's leave it with that. Make sure you're starting your gratitude list. If you take nothing else away today, write down every dang thing you're grateful for.
Yeah. And then go deeper.
And then go deeper. Get to others that you love in your life, and that may spur some thoughts for yourself as well. So Sammy, besides Amazon, any other place that they can look for the book?
It's Barnes & Noble, Books A Million.
Cool.
And on my website.
What's the website?
discovermentaledge.com.
And how can anyone follow you should they want to?
On the old TikTok, it's Mental Edge. And Instagram, it's _Sammy J.
We didn't even get into the TikTok thing. I don't know how you got started on that.
Well, real quick, and I'll tell you just real quick. I had a social media guy, and I told him that I was thinking about doing TikToks, and I actually initially started I wanted to do sales videos, mindset of sales. And he said, Sammy, you're too old. What you're wanting to talk about, it doesn't fit. You can't do it.
And that bugged you.
And I said, okay.
Because you used the word can't.
And lo and behold, I have almost 50,000 followers. So I guess I can.
Yeah.
But it was very neat without him saying I can't, and without me just being a bullhead and doing it. I started off trying to do sales videos, mindset, and it's amazing how God works. Because God said, hey, good job, Sammy. And the mental health community is what reached out. And that's how the book came to be. And I feel so blessed that I'm on that path.
Yeah. And helping people that really need the help, right? The brain health community, expressing gratitude, again, knowing the science that you physiologically cannot be stressed and blessed at the same time. So expressing gratitude as often as possible for those that are experiencing brain pain is a hack.
Oh, yeah.
May not be the cure for a lot of people depending on their severity, but it is a hack to help them get through their days.
Yes.
So love that. Everybody, you know what to do. Get the book, Broken Gratitude. Follow Sammy on either TikTok, Instagram, or whatever your favorite platform is. I still have only done one TikTok video in my life, and that was for my brother's song. So, I'm well behind
get you out there.
Well, that's good. As always, Spartans, remember the good and great are the enemies of possible. Lead like a Spartan today.